Welcome in this new video. My name is Jullian. I am the co-founder and CEO of Elite Chef Academy. And in today's new training, we'll go about the key points to retain existing customers and go from a 1 week event to working full-time and hitting 10K a month and plus in personal income as a private chef. The first point that we're gonna tackle down is deliver consistent quality and exceptional service. We approached this a little bit earlier in another training, but I really want to focus today on this. Wealthy people didn't build their wealth by chance. They did it through hard work and being the best in their field, which makes them want to work with people that look like them. Everything you do should be close to excellence, if not excellence itself. And I'm not talking only about your culinary skills. Now we're gonna go over the important point that you need to master in order for you to reach that level of excellence as a private chef. So I'm talking about how you communicate with them when you serve them, or how you approach their friends when they're at home. I'm talking about how you treat their kids when they are around. Once a week, if the kids like baking, do you have a gamification process to make cooking enjoyable and easy for them? The reason why I'm saying gamification is because you won't teach a 7-year-old how to bake cake the same way that you're gonna teach your sous chef how to bake this cake specifically. Okay, you want to make sure that the kid enjoys it. You want to make it fun. Okay, like I mean, might sounds a little bit stupid, but if you get out your scale, right, because you need to weigh like sugar or whatever, like be a little bit flexible, okay? Like if they put a little bit of sugar, outside the scale, like like you need to make sure that this is gamified. So next week they want to bake cakes with you again. And it's not gonna be about the way that you bake cakes. It's about the way that you be teaching them how to bake cakes. Okay, it goes back a little bit also to the energy type of thing. It's not really about your skill set, but more about how you deliver the skill set. Okay, how clean, efficient, and quiet / not intrusive you are when working in the house. When you have the husband, like somebody in the house that is working next to you. Are you making a lot of noise when you're moving your pants or your pants? Okay. Or are you a quiet person? How do you treat other people working for them in the house? I'm talking about the gardener, I'm talking about the maid, I'm talking about the nanny, okay? You need to make sure that you treat those people as well, if not better, than the client itself. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. How much adaptability do you have in the bag where they come home 30 minutes before lunch and tell you that they don't want chicken anymore, but they want fish? Or they have an extra 4 guests coming and you have 30 minutes to reorganize. I'm giving you an example because I've literally used this because it happened to me. Worked for a family where the lady was a little bit old. I wanna play on her age because maybe she didn't do that on purpose, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. But one day she came back home for lunchtime and she's like, amazing, Julian, are you ready with the chicken? And I was like, I'm ready with the fish, not with the chicken, but especially with this lady because she was kind of, she wanted always to make sure every Monday to go over with the meals with me for the entire week and everything. So she knew exactly what we were like, what they will be eating or whatever. Anyway, that type of clients exist and that's fine. And so she was like, are you ready with the chicken? I was like, yeah, I'm ready with the fish because this was supposed to be the meal. She was like, no, you're ready with the chicken, Julian. At this time, that is enough. Like, you won't even, you understood that she either forget because she's old, or she didn't forget, but she already told everybody else that they're gonna have chicken today, and she doesn't wanna sound dumb and be like, oh, sorry, I said to everybody it's chicken and instead it's fish. So she looks at you and you're like, fair enough, everything will be ready in 30 minutes, right? And right now you need to organize. I mean, 30 minutes is enough to, cook whatever, with chicken as long as you have chicken in the fridge. But That's technically something that can happen. So you need this level of adaptability and flexibility in case it happened. And not even, again, like, remember that the level of flexibility that you need starts even before you cook the chicken. It starts when the lady tells you something and you have the emotional intelligence to don't even like engage a fight with her. Because, I mean, worst case scenario, you get fired. Medium case scenario, you have an argue and it brings a terrible energy, and then like you're in a bad mood. Low end scenario, you you're losing time because you're literally fighting and you're arguing and you're losing time in the last 30 minutes you have to reorganize. Okay, so there's a slight limit to have, and okay, like, said it once, she go back to it. Like, all right, madam, let's get started. Guys, all of those things matter even more than your ability to bake a perfect chocolate souffle. 1000% every day of the week. Point number two, build strong relationship with your clients. Average private chefs underestimate the importance and the leverage of their presence inside of the house. Remember, wealthy people became wealthy not by mistakes. They usually, I mean, it's not they usually. There's a study that says that 80% of billionaires started with sales role. So wealthy people, they're usually great at sales, aka they know how to listen and ask the right questions. The most successful contract that I signed, which was technically a contract forever, with an opportunity to become an equity partner in another business with that client, started this way. I made it short to for you guys to get to the point. I got called in the house. I got called in the house to perform for two people, okay? An old couple, like 70, 75 type of people with their grandkids, okay? The kids were still in Hong Kong and moving to the house like a week and something later. So the event was only for a week. I went there, I performed, everything went super well, and by the end of this week of performance, the last night, I'm about to leave, and the old man starts talking to me, and he talks like about everything and anything. And in my head, at some point, I'm like, dude, like, way good, right? I've ended, like it's evening time. I want to go and meet with my friends or whatever. And this guy keeps talking to me. But again, at this time, I have a feeling, intuition. This isn't like data or science. It's like something that is higher than this, okay? That you cannot really describe or materialize. In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna keep making space for that person. I'm gonna keep listening to him. Maybe there is something, and if not, that's okay. That was the idea. That was the mindset. Well, guess what? By the end of this conversation, the guy is like, you know what? We enjoyed so much what you did with us that our daughter and her husband arrives in town in 3 days, and they'll be there for a few months. That'd be cool if you can come and cook for us for 3 days. That's it. And I left. And at this time I was like, you know what? For this extra 3 minutes that I stayed, instead of like, cutting short, I just made an extra $1,500 because at this time I was paying, I was getting paid $500 a day. Guess what? Arrived to the house 3 days later, met the daughter, met her husband, cooked for them for 3 days. 3 days later, they proposed me a full-time contract, like a full year-round contract. Technically, I could work with them for the rest of my life. Travel with them between Hong Kong, New York, Switzerland, where I met them. And this is a few months later where the equity partnership type of business started. All of this would have never happened if I was focused on, oh, you know what? It's the end of the night. I finished the performance. I need to get away as fast as possible. A really employee type of mentality. But instead, I had that business owner mentality where it's like, you know what? I'm switching off my mind. I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about this guy. I'm making space for him. I'm listening. And we'll just see. That goes back to another training that I was talking to you about with the effect of reciprocity. I gave something to this guy and he wanted to give me back. Point number 3, upsell and expand your offerings. The fastest way I found to get more people per month was the fastest way I found to get more people per month was the following. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused here. Just give me a second. The fastest way I found to make more money per month was the following. So there are a few things that you can do to get paid more. First off, it's the easiest one. Get paid per hour. Easy for people that are used to work a lot and are okay with this. And at this time, I was just like, I was a working machine, right? So I was just like, anyway, let's do this. Sometimes I will literally work on creating such a technical menu where I spend 15 hours in a day to do so and make over $1,000 because of the time I spent. I'll even be paid to go and find local products at 2 hours away from the house and be paid just to travel. I'll take my car, they pay for the gas, and they pay for the 2 or 3 hours that I'll be traveling. Okay, and I'll make like almost $200 just to go and drive in Switzerland in a beautiful like countrylands, to buy beautiful products, to come back to the house and cook beautiful products. It was, at this time, for me, I was living the dream, like, literally. Second point is making sure to work for special occasions like Christmas and New Year. Like, when you're a chef in a restaurant and you work for Christmas and New Year, like, I'm sorry for my French, but you get screwed. Like, you just work for this day and, like, nothing happened. When you're a private chef, those dates are only 2 to 4 times in the year, if you can figure it out to work lunch in the year, but you will charge 2,500, 2,500 just for one shot, just for one lunch, one dinner. Okay, so over a period of 4 days, you can make like an easy $10,000 if you're working the entire month, which I will recommend you to do. Like, this is an easy 20 to 30K a month. Okay, the last one is a banger. And leads to a further training. Become so good at what you do, people will pay to get your position. What I mean is, in the space, some private chefs will be willing to pay you a lot of money, it happened to me, to have the same conditions I describe of all of those trainings, which is something that happened to me. I sold my position for a multiple 5-figure to another private chef for him to start working with those clients. So this guy was willing to pay multiple 5 figures so he wouldn't have to go through the headaches of knocking doors and finding clients and starting to network and being like, oh, like, before I get this like yearly contract, I need to do like a 1-day event and like a 2 days event and like a couple of like weekly events. It was like, no, I'm willing to pay, tens of thousands of dollars, and I get right in, and I know that I'm making my easy 100K per year. And I can sleep on my 2 ears. That's how we say in France. Like, you sleep well at night because you know that there is money coming in the bank. When you become so good at finding clients, you don't mind losing a contract, as you know you'll find somebody else the next day. But that only happens when you become an elite private chef. That only happens when you take off the apron of a chef and you become an agency owner. Okay, now only a private chef, but you're starting to find contracts for private chef, and that's how potentially you can scale your business, which is gonna be a further training that we're gonna go over if you want to. Conclusion: the reason why most private chefs sucks at retaining clients is because one or two things. They don't know anything about sales and marketing, and they think that the cooking skills will save them from knowing nothing about sales and marketing. This is the biggest mistake that they make, and that's the reason why after 10 years in the space, you still see some private chef on Facebook groups looking for contracts. It's like, being on a Facebook group when you're a private chef is good when you get started. That's all. Like, if you've been there like 10 years, even 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, you're in a Facebook group, like, you dead, bro. Like, this is not the way. Now, take it easy. Sell simple. People buy from you when you're not trying to sell them. The most successful salespeople I ever met in my life, they are not salespeople. They're not great students who graduated with a sales or business degree. They're not trying to use sales techniques, especially in today's like economy, like in 2024. People get even more educated about about being sold, and nobody likes to be sold. And it's always been like this, but it's getting even more because people are being sold even more. Okay, so great salespeople, they are good, honest, and I call this personally people. Okay, they know like just data based type of driving people. They are somebody you like to be around, somebody you want to have you in your house day and night. Not saying that people that focus on data are not people that we like to be around. That's not the point. I'm just saying that like you don't need a script to be good at sales. It's nothing about this. It's about the personality and about the internal and human skills that you developed over the years. And this is what you need to retain your customers and make them want to work with you forever. That's the end of this training.